Welcome to OreoOlive.com. You know, Oreo and olives don't mix, but the abstract thought of putting those two words together has led me to create a channel to discuss various topics. On today's episode, I want to talk about the videos of the late Kevin Samuels. Now, most of you watching this specific video are very familiar or should be familiar with Kevin Samuels. A couple of years ago, one of my really good friends sent the channel to me to watch, and I started taking a look at it and looking at the videos. And what I did is I started from the beginning and worked my way all the way up to the last episode that he had on his channel. And out of those videos, it was almost like a breath of fresh air on YouTube. And here's why. The conversations and the type of conversations that Kevin Samuels was having was what a lot of men have not been able to actually say, do, or even have those conversations on international scale like that. Now, keep in mind, Kevin's content was not just for people in the U.S. I mean, it impacted folks all across the world. And what was so interesting is in the early years, from what I saw on the channel, a lot of his videos were dealing with grooming tips, self-care tips for men, basically showing them about how to mix and match, clothing, shoes. He talked about colognes. I mean, he talked about all kinds of different things, and even tried to get the men on game to be better versions of themselves, especially the way that you carry yourself out in public. Now, if you look at the videos early on, you will see that he even went from just, casual daily wear to then transitioning into like suits and everything. And so that more professional image was now being broadcasted all out across YouTube. And the takeaways from that I've learned through that, and this is one thing too, YouTube is full of videos from people of all different backgrounds that are providing information, whether people are going to like it or not. And if they don't like it, they have options to visit other channels. But if they like it, they're going to really feed into the content. But seeing how his numbers have grown from, probably around 200,000 all the way up to a little over 1 million people, and all the views and different podcasts he was on, he had a very strong position in his ideas and things that he wanted to share with the men, because remember, he was on the men first, then he moved to the women, and the women were consistently calling into the show. So it gave great insight for other men out there to see how oftentimes some women think. And when you're having those kinds of things going on like that, it really begins to show you what goes on outside the community that you live in. Now, whether you agree or disagree with the way that Kevin showed the information, you have to also think about it the same way that Kevin oftentimes will talk on the channel is little to no different than how some people get talked to by their supervisor, by their manager, by any executives in the company. They give it to them straight out the box, like it is what it is, and they can either take it or leave it. But Kevin definitely had a different position than what most men had, because on camera he you can tell he took care of himself. He made sure he was presentable. He was very organized. He brought the data and statistics, which is hard for people to refute or argue with. And he had the debates on there with different women on the channel. And when you have structure, it's going to shake people up, because people are going to try to move you on and off your position. And from that point, I can say I really learned a lot from the channel in terms of the way that people think. Also, it's really helpful, if I'm talking to people who may be single or looking for somebody or trying to better themselves, I'll recommend certain videos to look at. Some of them like it, some of them don't. That's fine. It's not the end all be all. But he started a conversation that is ingrained in the back of people's mind, globally across the world. And that right there is something that a lot of YouTubers wish that they could do, But we'll see what transpires from this, even though, he passed last year, and this is coming up on the 1 year here soon. But people, you either like it or you don't like it, but take it for what it's worth. And if it applies to you, use it. If it does not, don't. But he definitely tried to make his content, for one, get the men in, get the men good, make sure that they understand and be a better version of themselves. And then he started working on the women, and he's trying to bring the two together. And overall, his message that he was trying to do, from what I've seen, is making both parties be a better version of themselves and come together for a black marriage and relationships. Now, from their perspective, I'll leave that to you. Definitely put in the comments below what you think and everything. But hey, what he said, it is what it is. Until then, people, like, listen, and subscribe, OrioOlive.com. Look forward to talking with you soon.